Give us a role model is an extract from Ignited Minds by Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam dedicated Ignited Minds to a student, Snehal Thakur, in a school in Gujarat. In slide 2, we will look at what Abdul Kalam felt about belief. In slide 3, Abdul Kalam speaks about abundance and spirituality. He emphasizes that abundance and spirituality coexist and they are not contradictory to each other. Although Kalam lived a life of minimum possessions, he admired abundance for it brings security and confidence, which eventually preserves our freedom. Even nature and cosmos exhibit abundance in freedom. Kalam believes that the world is an embodiment of energy and consequently abundance, which was earlier propounded by Sri Aurobindo, an Indian philosopher, yogi, guru, poet, and nationalist. The basis of Kalam's decision to meet the youth was to know their dream, their right to dream a good life, an abundant life, and a life of pleasures and comfort. When Kalam met students in a high school in Tirupura, he came across two very interesting questions. The first question, where do we get a role model and how do you get a role model? Kalam answered, we adopt role models in various phases of our lives. Up to the age of 15, the best role models are father, mother, and school teacher. They can impart best guidance during this period. They have a big responsibility in the personal development of the child with a value system. Every parent should be willing to guide children into becoming human beings, enlightened and hardworking. Well, do you remember the question, who are our role models and how do we get our role models? According to Kalam, if parents and teachers dedicate themselves to shaping the lives of the young, India would get a new life. Behind the parents stand the school, behind the teachers stand the home. And the student-teacher relationship is not a business, but it focuses on nation building. A proper education would nurture a sense of responsibility and self-respect among the youth. Here Kalam talks about his role models. They are his father, mother, and his teacher Subramania Iyer. Kalam believes the teacher is a child's window to learning and knowledge and a role model in generating creativity. Well, now let us focus on the second question. A girl in Tripura in the very same school asked him a question on terrorists. Kalam remarked that terrorists are created through political and economic isolation or they are fanatics sponsored by enemy nations to disrupt normal life. Quoting the two great Indian epics, Mahabharata and Ramayana, he said terrorism can be minimized through spiritual growth. Kalam visited a school in Dindigul in Tamil Nadu. He addressed the students on the 75th anniversary celebration. One of the students had a very interesting question to ask. He said, I have read the Tamil version of Wings of Fire, Agni Siragugal, and wish to know Abdul Kalam's message in the book. Kalam asked the children to recite the following lines: Dream, dream, dream. He said dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts into action. He requested the parents to encourage children to dream. Success always follows dreams, though there may be setbacks and obstacles. Well, another interesting question from a boy in the same school. He asked Abdul Kalam who would be the first scientist in the world. Kalam said that the whole foundation of science is question. He asserted that children are the sources of unending questions and hence child is the first scientist. This slide focuses on Kalam's visit to Assam, where he attended the convocation ceremony at Tezpur University. Kalam received the honorary doctorate conferred on him. After this, he visited a school. He addressed the gathering on a wonderful topic, indomitable spirit. The youngsters mobbed him for autographs, after which he had to answer two very interesting questions. The first question focused on diverting the waters of Brahmaputra, always in floods, to Rajasthan or Tamil Nadu, which was always water-starved. He answered that Vision 2020 demands that the young start the mission of linking rivers. He believed that the young have powerful minds which can overcome the negativity of official procedures and self-centered policies, a part of red tapeism. The second question at the school in Assam really shocked Abdul Kalam into silence. One of them asked the reason why big leaders do not talk to them. Kalam was impressed by the students' urge to communicate with the leaders and promised to convey the dream to the Prime Minister and the leaders. The Prime Minister, in turn, requested various leaders in the country to interact with students to create a better future for them. Kalam visited the Ramakrishna High School in Jharkhand and answered the child's question on Rajasthan, stating that Rajasthan, a desert of 20 years, has seen much cultivation after the Indira Gandhi Canal was constructed. He said the young generation should take it as their mission to transform India into a new India by connecting the rivers. Another question was posed to him by a child regarding the Agni missile. The child asked him if the Agni missile would cross the ocean and reach America. Abdul Kalam patiently answered. He told the child that no country is an enemy and that America is their friend, and that Agni symbolizes India's strength and capabilities. Let us take a look at Kalam's visit to Cuttack. Kalam participated in the birthday celebration of late Justice Harihar Mahapatra, a freedom fighter. Kalam's biography was released in Oriya. The first question posed to him was about his favorite books. Kalam mentioned that they were Man the Unknown by Dr. Alexis Carrel which highlights the connection between the mind and the body, and that the human body is an intricate organism with a very intelligent feedback. His next favorite was Thirukkural by Thiruvalluvar, which provides an excellent code of life. His third favorite, Light from Many Lamps by Lillian Ailker Watson, which illuminates how we live, and it provided an invaluable guidance to Kalam for 50 years. Last but most importantly, his favorite book again, Holy Quran, which was a constant companion all through his life. At Anand in Gujarat, he addressed a gathering of school children, and there was one little smart boy who asked him a question: who is our enemy? Kalam encouraged the students to answer, and they all said in one voice that it was poverty. The last question, asked by one of the students: are Pakistani weapons stronger than Indian ones? Kalam replied that India can develop and manufacture any type of missile and nuclear weapon, a capability possessed only by 4 nations in the world. Let us look at the significance of the extract. The 11 questions in the course of meeting 40,000 high school students reflect their innocence and their desire to live a strong and prosperous life in a strong and prosperous nation. It stresses the importance of having role models in science and industry. He continued that all our 30,000 genes were identical to our Stone Age ancestors, and one of the traits among them, the need for survival through achievement. According to Kalam, achievement is a basic instinct like eating and reproducing. We cannot aspire to learn, grow, and achieve perfection without accomplishment and achievement. Let us look at the final slide, role models of India, Vikram Sarabhai and Lata Mangeshkar, according to Abdul Kalam. Kalam quotes Vikram Sarabhai, whose vision cut across 3 decades through the sustained efforts of many others. Also, he speaks of Lata Mangeshkar as a role model who dedicated a 450-bed hospitals in memory of her father. In addition, her song during the Indo-China War in 1962 inspired and touched an entire nation. Such role models help the young to focus on what is correct and lead them to great success. Several such role models in ancient India were a powerhouse of knowledge in maths, science, medicine, and astronomy. Kalam concludes by saying, a renaissance or a revival of learning is required to make India a powerhouse of knowledge once again. Thank you, students, for listening. Abdul Kalam believed that if students think they are worthy citizens, they will become responsible and enlightened. Such is the case with G8 nations who believed they must lead a good life in a strong and prosperous nation and that became a reality.